Welcome to 13 News on this Wednesday. Dustin Grove here with meteorologist Rob Ellis. Good to see you, sir.
That's good to be here. It's nice to have something different to talk about.
A little bit, even if it is clouds.
Yeah, I mean, it would be, in any other day, it'd be probably the most boring looking outside weather that you could have. But compared to where we have been.
It's marked contrast. My wife said, wow, it's so dark outside today.
The clouds are there, days are getting shorter, temperature's going to start to get a bit cooler. Let's take a look and show you what we're seeing right now with at least something on radar. It's not a lot that's on radar, but there are a chance for a few showers, maybe some light sprinkles across the area. We do have some clouds that rolled in today. That's the darkness that we saw out there earlier in the day, and I think that chance for showers is going to stay with us as we get into the midday time frame. Once we get into the afternoon, I think that chance for sprinkles really drops down. The clouds have kept us on the cooler side. Look at the temperatures into the 60s, couple of 50s still hanging on. I do think we'll make it up close to 70 or maybe just a little bit past 70, but that'll probably be a little bit later in the day if we break back out into any sunshine. The rest of the day, though, expect most of the clouds to stay with us for much of the day. Temperatures here are going to be into the 70s by the afternoon, but just barely, certainly much cooler than the 80-degree reading we had yesterday. Temperatures cooling back down and then probably going to stay that way for the next several days. The next several days look pretty quiet, so high temperature today of 72. Overnight tonight, we'll see the temperatures drop back down to 53. I left partly cloudy skies in for tonight. I think some of those clouds are going to stay with us once we get into the overnight. Some of those may even linger. A couple of newer models are showing maybe a little sprinkle lingering during the overnight, but really I think the next few days beyond that are certainly going to be pretty quiet. We're looking at quiet conditions Thursday and into Friday. It'll look a lot like this. Lots of sunshine, temperatures in the 70s. Big changes are on the way once we get into your Saturday. The possibility of storms, and we could see another 80-degree day. I've made some changes to the forecast I'll show you coming up.
Okay, see you then, Rob. Thank you. To the headlines now. We're learning new details about a shooting that left 3 people injured. Now, a 46-year-old man is facing multiple charges connected to that incident. That triple shooting allegedly started over a prescription not being ready at the CVS on 10th and Sherman. Police say 46-year-old Terry Rowe Jr. got angry in the drive-thru and later harassed a pharmacy tech outside as she waited for a ride. When her boyfriend arrived to pick her up, surveillance video shows the 2 men talking before Rowe pulled a gun, shooting the tech outside and another employee inside. The boyfriend returned fire and Rowe later showed up at a hospital with a gunshot wound. He was arrested this week, charged, and is being held on $150,000 bail. If released, he'll be on GPS monitoring and barred from that particular CVS location. This afternoon, we are digging into details surrounding a deadly shooting in central Georgia that claimed the life of a woman from here in Indianapolis. The victim's friends call this a senseless tragedy, and investigators say the whole thing is a case of mistaken identity. Misidentification. Erica Anderson was shot and killed by her roommate, according to police, at their Columbus Georgia apartment. Investigators say her roommate had been getting threats and heard a noise. She walked into the hall with a pistol, fired 2 shots. At least one of them struck Erica. Erica was just returning after having visited her husband, Andy, and their 3 kids here in Indy. In a statement read by a friend, Andy says the family is just devastated.
Our family is still in shock as we try to comprehend how something so horrific could happen. Erica was taken from us far too soon at only 41 years old in an act of violence that never should have occurred.
Erica's husband is undergoing treatment right now for prostate cancer. She had taken a job as a theater professor at Columbus State University to help support the family. Johnson County Coroner Michael Pruitt is pleading not guilty on 14 charges. He's now under 2 no-contact orders after turning himself in on a warrant this week. Michael Pruitt is facing 7 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a minor and 7 counts of furnishing alcohol to a minor. Court documents say Pruitt texted a 17-year-old about alcohol multiple times while mentoring her in 4-H. A detective says he found photos of Pruitt and the teen drinking together. The Johnson County Sheriff's Office confirms he was transferred to the Brown County Jail for safety and security reasons. Online court records show a special judge from Hancock County is now assigned to the case. As of this morning, Pruitt has posted bond and been released from jail. He's due back in court in December. The U.S. Senate has again rejected the House-passed government funding bill. It is the 8th time the bill has failed since this shutdown began back on October 1st. Still no resolution in sight as lawmakers on both sides are digging in their heels. This is now the 5th longest shutdown in U.S. history as we continue to wait and see what happens on Capitol Hill. And reaching day 15 of this government shutdown means payday has come and gone for many federal workers. Some are furloughed, others working without pay. Amy Kiley reports on events today impacting many workers who aren't in either of those categories.
A resolution needs to be made.
This is an important day for many federal workers caught up in the government shutdown. It's payday for U.S. service members. President Donald Trump says they are getting checks due to a reallocation of funds. The White House says the money is from the Pentagon's research and development budget. In Congress, a standalone measure to pay troops is getting growing bipartisan support, but so far it's been unsuccessful.
That mental burden on a military family is not something that they should be carrying when their service members are still going to work every single day.
Also today, 2 unions are trying to stop the layoffs of federal workers who've lost their jobs during the shutdown. They're asking a judge in San Francisco for an emergency injunction.
I think that this is absolutely un-American to have such actions taken against very patriotic employees.
The Trump administration says in a court filing about 4,100 employees are affected. About a quarter of them are with the Department of Health and Human Services.
The government has grown too big.
Other federal workers deemed essential continue to work without pay. Yesterday's checks for air traffic controllers contain only what they earned before the government closed.
Their focus is now on, when I get off my shift today, do I have to go and drive Uber tonight?
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And to Shelbyville now, where some dealers at the Horseshoe Casino say they've been dealt a bad hand. Now they are threatening to strike. Walking off the job and onto the picket line. The dealers tell us there are a lot of factors that led them to this point, but the main reason they say is that the game has changed over the years. More than 200 dealers have authorized this strike. They say it's a long time coming since their union election was delayed by the government shutdown. Dealers say this isn't about pay, but about their right to organize, and that the family atmosphere has disappeared here over the last few years. One even told 13 News they feel the job isn't respected anymore by the casino and the people playing.
It's also about 6 weeks to get certified with a state gambling license, and to be treated as an unskilled laborer, completely unfair, because we work hard on our craft and all of the dealers are so passionate about our job and our people.
We reached out to Caesars Entertainment about this potential strike. The company says it, quote, values its long-standing relationship with labor unions, including those currently representing team members at Horseshoe Indianapolis, and they are committed to ensuring team members can exercise their legal right to vote in a union election. The union did file paperwork for a supervised election, but that federal board is still paused, and there is no election day on the calendar because of the shutdown. Horseshoe tells us they expect to keep operations running smoothly. Fox Sports analyst Mark Sanchez due back in court next week, and there could be a new judge in his case. New court documents show the Marion County judge assigned to this case has filed to recuse herself. Didn't say why. Sanchez is facing several charges, including felony battery. Police say he got into a fight with another man in downtown Indianapolis. Sanchez is expected to appear in court virtually. More than half of Indiana voters say Indiana is going in the wrong direction. This is according to a new poll released this week by Independent Indiana. The group hired North Star Opinion Research to survey more than 600 voters statewide. And that poll found about 53% of voters think the state's headed in the wrong direction. Around 49% don't favor President Trump. 43% say they're unhappy with Governor Braun. The survey also found a majority of voters are against the idea of congressional redistricting.
Hoosier voters are not in favor of redistricting. 53% of them say that this is a bad idea and they don't want it. Only 34% support redistricting.
We also got a response to this poll from the state Republican Party addressing the poll numbers specifically regarding Governor Braun. It says, quote, this poll is deja vu of every other unreliable political poll that claimed Mike Braun's campaign was struggling, only for him to win with the largest margin of victory for Indiana governor in more than 40 years. Independent Indiana may underestimate Governor Braun, the statement says, but Hoosier voters have demonstrated they are confident in the governor's agenda, end quote. We have more from these poll numbers at WTHR.com.